Hello everyone, Jeff here again. Another day, another video it seems. I'm on a roll this week. This one is another contest entry. Like I said, there's been a lot of contests going on in the VC, and I'm happy to get in them because these are all channels that I love and want to support. So today, the contest is for Hannah, the Omaha Introvert. Hit 1,000 subscribers, which is a monumental achievement. Very well done. Congratulations, Hannah. You deserve it. And she's running a contest for, with 3 questions, 3 pretty easy to answer questions, and we're just going to get right to it. First question being, I think I memorized them right. You have to show your 3 favorite female artists. And the first one that popped into my head as soon as I watched the video, the contest video that she made, the first female singer that popped into my head was Chrissie Hynde of the Pretenders. For a long time, she's been one of my favorite female musicians and singers. So, and this is their debut album, a stone classic front to back. Actually, the first 3 Pretenders albums, I think, are just absolutely essential records for just about any rock collection. So, and I have them. So, I really, Chrissie Hynde's different. She's not like other female singers. You know, her voice is a lot deeper. It's a lot more sultry. She's able to do a lot more with it. You know, she's not just one of these singers that just hits high notes and holds it there for like 2 minutes trying to show vocal range. She's got, you know, she's a tough chick too. She's got guts, you know, and she's sexy and tough at the same time, which I really like. And the songs off of this album reflect that pretty well. So, Chrissie Hynde of the Pretenders is my first favorite female artist. Second favorite female artist is Pat Benatar. You couldn't escape the 80s without coming across her music, especially in the early part of the first half of the 80s. And I believe her video which is on this album, called You Better Run, fun fact, was the second video played on MTV. Don't quote me. I'm pretty sure that's the truth, though. I know it was one of the first. It may have been the second video. Maybe. I don't write a script or do any prep for these videos. It just popped into my head as soon as I held this up. That's how my mind works. But Pat Benatar obviously has a great voice. Obviously has a wide range, can hit the high notes, can show, you know, great emotion with her voice. It's not just vocal acrobatics. That's probably a big knock for a lot of contemporary female singers, is they substitute range for emotion. And that just doesn't work for me. When Pat Benatar sings, I feel it, and it feels real. It's not just fake, you know, singing just to show off. So, I have a couple of her albums in my collection, and they're all very enjoyable, all great, you know, early 80s rock. You know, and back at a time when you just didn't have very many female lead singers, you know, doing this kind of stuff. So, always like Pat Benatar. She's my second one. And finally, my third is Melissa Etheridge. This is her debut album. And just like Chrissie and Pat, she also she can convey great emotion with her voice, and you believe it. You know, like her voice is a little rougher. It's a little more bluesy. Like she can sing, you know, down and dirty real good. And yeah, this is her first album. It's really good. And I've always enjoyed her songs. I know she releases albums. Like I got her new album last year, but I don't know if it even made a dent in the charts or anything. But it was a great album. Yeah, it's harder, I think, on women to be rock singers because I don't know. It just seems like it's more difficult for them. But Melissa is able to sing just about anything well. And she plays good guitar too. So she's my third. Now, the second question in the contest is to show 2 of your favorite subgenres of music. And thanks to my buddy Brad, I'm showing this again. I know I've showed this a couple times already, but I'm doing it again. This is trip hop, is my subgenre. And it even says, you can't read it because it's too small print on this sticker, but my buddy Brad from H2 Vinyl, who gave me this record, put on this sticker, the genre is electronic. Trip hop being a subgenre of electronic music. Huh? Yeah. I almost went with the lead singer from this album as one of my favorite female vocalists, but since this is the only album by Portishead that I have, I didn't really feel like I could make that kind of judgment yet. But this album is fantastic. I've spun this several times over the Christmas season and into this early part of the new year. So trip hop is indeed a subgenre of music that I want to explore a little bit more into, basically on the strength of this album. So that's why I'm showing it. This is one of the directions that I want to try to explore more in 2019, is trip hop. That's my first one. My second one, I'm actually stealing these records from what would end up in my next Spin Zone video, which I'm hopefully going to do tomorrow. So you're going to see them now. These 2 albums are by the Mahavishnu Orchestra. And my subgenre is fusion, which fusion is a subgenre of jazz. I'll just hold these up one at a time so you can see and take them out of the sleeve. This one I played the other day is called Birds of Fire by the Mahavishnu Orchestra. And fusion was pioneered, you know, one of the guys to pioneer fusion in jazz was Miles Davis on such albums as In a Silent Way and Bitches Brew. In fact, John McLaughlin, who, right here, actually played on those albums and was a part of that band. And he eventually went on to form his own band, which was this, Mahavishnu Orchestra. And he took the reins of fusion and went further with it. And fusion is basically, you know, you have the cool, like think of Miles Davis, you know, that cool sound that he has, but with electric guitar added. And especially when you've got a virtuoso like John McLaughlin playing, it really elevates the music to another level. I mean, basically this band, you know, you've got, besides John McLaughlin, you've got oh, I'm sorry. Here's John McLaughlin. You've got Jan Hammer here, who was famous in the 80s for the Miami Vice theme song. But he also did collaborations with Jeff Beck in the 70s, I believe. And Billy Cobham was the drummer on this album. And you'll be seeing one of his albums in my next Spin Zone, which I played. He went on to a solo career of his own. So, you know, this is a band full of virtuoso players playing fusion jazz. So you have the intricacy of the guitar against kind of the cooler electronic backdrop of jazz. I'm hoping I'm explaining it well. This was the album that I just played this morning, Visions of the Emerald Beyond. and I actually like this one a little bit better than Birds of Fire. But the lineup on this one, this is one of those vertical gatefolds. There we go. The lineup on this one is different. There's Jean-Luc Ponty on violin, electric violin. Michael Walden on drums. You know, it's a different lineup compared to Birds of Fire, but it is just as good. And actually, I think I might even like this one a little bit better. I'll probably be playing this one more than the other one in the future. But yeah, fusion jazz is my second subgenre of music for this contest. And the third question is to show a favorite piece of audio equipment, either past or present. Now, I've done videos, you know, showing off my setup. I just did a video recently showing the new speakers I got. I mean, they're old speakers, but they're new to me. Nothing about my system is really high-end or audiophile. Like I said, those speakers I just bought, you know, I didn't pay a ton of money on them. And they're, you know, probably like 45-year-old speakers, even though they were well taken care of. You know, I know I'm taking a chance on having them break at some point just due to age, you know, and that's understandable. My CD player, let me turn the camera this way a little bit. CD player here is a refugee from the 90s, but I don't really play CDs that much anymore. I mean, occasionally I do. I just keep it just to have the ability to play CDs. And of course, this receiver is just a low-end Yamaha. You know, I mean, it puts out 75 watts per channel, which is good enough to drive the speakers I've got. These are the Polks that I have right here. They're cheap speakers. You know, they're like, for the pair, I think they're like 200. You know, they're not super expensive at all. So, I was glad to know, because Russ from Amorphous Audio commented on my speaker video that those Kenwoods are apparently very efficient, and that I wouldn't need like some monster 200 watt amp to drive it, which is good. So the sound on everything is good. You know, could it be better? Of course. But for now, this is going to be my setup basically for the next probably 15 to 20 years, I'm thinking, barring a disaster, you know, barring breakage or, you know, the house burning down or something like that. Yeah, I've got this fantasy of retiring, you know, making it to retirement, and, you know, being able to really set up a high-end audiophile system of my own. Will I ever do it? Who knows? It's just a fantasy that I have. I'd like to. I'd like to think I can in 20 more years. But the one exception that I did make for something that's not cheap is this turntable. And if you're friends with me on Facebook, let me drop this down a little bit. If you're friends with me on Facebook or Instagram, you see this every time I post a record. This is it's a Project the Classic turntable. And it's the one piece of audio equipment that I kind of splurged on a little bit. It's kind of in the middle ground between high-end and, you know, low-end cheap players. And after living with it for over a year, I'm super happy with it. You know, it's much, it's got a much warmer sound than my previous turntable. And the isolation on this is rock solid. Meaning that I can walk across the floor here in this front room without the needle skipping, which was a big problem with my previous turntable, which is now my backup. The platter on that turntable, it's a Pioneer PL600, is spring suspension, but it's so sensitive that a lot of times, you know, people would walk in this room and the needle would go across the record because it was so sensitive to vibration, even with this butcher block. But this project is much sturdier, it's much more solid, and it's much better isolated from any kind of vibration. So my answer to that question here is my turntable. It's my favorite piece of audio equipment. Hope to have this one forever. So there you go. I hope those answers are acceptable. Once again, congratulations, Hannah, on hitting 1,000 subscribers. It's well deserved. You know, love your channel. Love seeing all the stuff you show. And here's to 1,000 more. So that's going to be it for me for today. Hopefully tomorrow I'll do a spin zone. So once again, peace everyone. Thanks for watching. I hope you're not getting sick of me doing a video a day here this week. It's just the way that the week is falling. And I'll see you again soon. So till then, take care.